When a narcissist realizes you've grown too strong to control, they turn to one final, underhanded tactic. Carl Jung uncovered a disturbing truth about narcissists that most people never expect. When they see that they've lost their grip on you, they won't simply walk away. Instead, they launch one last, devastating manipulation capable of undoing years of progress in just weeks. If you can't identify it, you may unknowingly walk right into it. But before understanding this ultimate trick, it's important to first see the psychological battle that leads to it. Jung explained that the deepest fear of a narcissist isn't being rejected or abandoned. It's the moment their target becomes mentally stronger than them. Through his research on the shadow self, Jung discovered that narcissists maintain an illusion of superiority by projecting their own weaknesses onto others. But when you begin to heal, set firm boundaries, and refuse to play along with their games, something shifts inside them. Jung called this the power inversion crisis. What follows may shock you. Narcissists aren't simply in search of love, they're in search of control. They need someone whose energy they can drain. Jung described them as operating from an inflated ego, a mental state in which they must constantly assert dominance to avoid facing their own inner emptiness. When you were uncertain, dependent, or desperate for their approval, you served their needs perfectly. You were their emotional supply, their validation source. But the moment you stop seeking their approval and start trusting your own judgment, you become a threat to their identity. That's when they reach for the weapon Jung warned us about, something he called psychological projection warfare. When they sense you slipping away, they escalate beyond gaslighting or playing the victim. They attack what Jung described as your individuation process, your journey to becoming fully yourself. This begins with them turning your newfound strength into their target. Once they criticized your weaknesses, now they twist your strengths. Jung said this happens because they recognize that your strength is the barrier standing between them and control. They might say, "You've changed, and not in a good way. You used to be caring, now you're selfish. Success has gone to your head. You think you're better than everyone." But Jung's findings revealed something chilling. This isn't random criticism. They specifically go after the qualities you're most proud of developing. If you've learned to set boundaries, they'll label you cold. If you found your voice, they'll call you aggressive. If you've gained confidence, they'll brand you arrogant. Jung named this tactic strength shaming, designed to make you feel guilty for the very traits that freed you. When this fails, they move to a more insidious tactic, what Jung termed nostalgic manipulation. They begin romanticizing the old you, the easier-to-control version. You might hear, "Remember when you laughed at my jokes? You were happier before you read those self-help books. I miss the person you used to be. Things were so much better before you changed." Jung explained that this is a form of psychological time travel, meant to drag you back into old patterns. They don't miss you, they miss controlling you. And if you're not careful, you may start longing for that older version of yourself, too. But the most dangerous move comes when both strength shaming and nostalgic manipulation fail. Jung warned of manufactured vulnerability, a tactic where narcissists exploit your deepest compassion just when you're at your strongest. They suddenly appear fragile, overwhelmed, or in crisis, whether it's health problems, financial troubles, family issues, or emotional breakdowns. The timing is no accident. Jung found that narcissists keep mental records of what makes you feel guilty, what awakens your caretaker instincts, and what leads you to break your own rules. They use your empathy as a weapon against you. Even worse, Jung revealed that they sometimes create the very crises they ask you to solve. They may sabotage their own job, health, or relationships just to pull you back in. According to Jung, this serves two purposes. It forces you into the caretaker role again, and it proves to them that they still hold influence over you. Jung observed that in these moments, They often ask you to violate the exact boundaries you worked hardest to set. I know you don't usually lend money, but this time is different. I know you said you needed space, but I really need you now. I know you're focused on yourself, but can't you just help me this once? Jung explained that every just this once is a calculated attempt to break down your defenses, not to get help, but to prove they matter more than your own well-being. The danger lies in how real it feels. The narcissist may truly be in crisis, but Jung found that they choose carefully which crises to share with you and when. They have other people they could ask for help, but they come to you because they know you're the most likely to sacrifice your own needs for them. So how can you defend yourself against this? Jung's answer was something he called differentiated compassion, caring about someone's struggles without feeling responsible for solving them. He once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." When faced with a crisis from a narcissist, you must ask yourself, is helping them helping me grow into who I'm meant to be, or is it keeping me from it? Jung discovered that narcissists fear your strength because it reminds them of the personal growth they've abandoned in favor of control. When you refuse to make yourself smaller for their comfort, you're not just drawing a line, you're showing them what's possible when someone chooses authenticity over approval. And that's why they fight so hard to pull you back down. Here's what's important to remember. Every time you hold firm despite their manipulation, every time you keep your boundaries even when they create a crisis, you prove that their control over you was never real. True strength, Jung taught, isn't about being untouchable, it's about recognizing manipulation, naming it, and choosing yourself anyway. Their desperation to control you only shows how powerful you've become. The narcissist's final tactic works only if you forget who you are. Once you see it for what it is, a last desperate attempt to reclaim control, you'll understand that their need to manipulate you is actually proof of your freedom. Jung believed that the moment you stop being controllable is the moment you truly begin living. And no false crisis, no matter how convincing, is worth giving that freedom away. Whiskers discovered a magic fish in a pond. The fish promised 3 wishes in exchange for its freedom. Whiskers wished for endless fish, a cozy bed, and a bell that rang softly. The fish granted all 3 wishes and swam away, leaving Whiskers content and purring in the sun.